What if, in the heart of the world's first great empire, entire lives were spent in shadows? What if some of Babylon's women, invisible in grand histories of kings and wars, left behind whispers of a forgotten existence? Tonight we drift into the quiet, hidden story of the women who lived and worked in the brothels of ancient Babylon. Asterisk, asterisk, you close your eyes and imagine stepping into Babylon nearly 4,000 years ago. The city hums softly, even at night. Dust settles on the great walls, said to be so wide that chariots could ride along their tops. The Euphrates River glides past, carrying with it the faint sound of water against stone. Babylon is not just a city, it is the beating heart of Mesopotamia. Merchants from distant lands arrive with lapis from Afghanistan, cedar wood from Lebanon, spices from Arabia. Priests chant in towering temples. Scribes scratch wedge-shaped marks into clay tablets, inventing what we now call writing. But as your mind drifts deeper, you turn away from the palaces and temples. You follow a narrower alley, where the torchlight grows dimmer. Behind the grandeur of empire, another world waits. Asterisk, asterisk here. You find women whose lives are rarely told in history books. These are not queens, not priestesses, not noble daughters sealed away in walled gardens. These are women of the brothels. For some, this life began in chains, captives from wars, taken far from home, sold into the city's markets. For others, poverty pushed them here, with families who could not feed another mouth. And for a few, perhaps, it was survival, choosing a place where food and shelter were at least guaranteed. Imagine the dim rooms where they lived. Little more than mud brick chambers with mats spread across the floor. Oil lamps flicker, casting soft yellow light on cracked plaster walls. Their voices carry in whispers, exchanging stories, or perhaps humming lullabies from villages they would never see again. Asterisk, asterisk, in Babylon, the body was not only physical, it was spiritual, tied to gods and rituals. Some records speak of sacred prostitution, where women were bound to temples, serving travelers in the name of Ishtar, goddess of love and war. You picture a traveler arriving, dusty feet, tired, and entering a small chamber lit by incense. The act was not merely commerce, but woven with belief, an offering to the goddess, a ritual that blurred the line between sacred and profane. But historians still debate what was myth and what was reality. Did temple prostitution truly exist, or was it an exaggerated tale told by outsiders? You may never know, yet you feel the weight of how these women's lives were bound to myths, their voices silenced, their choices rewritten by others. Asterisk, asterisk, as the city wakes with merchants shouting in the bazaar, these women prepare for another day. They might decorate themselves with coal around their eyes, or bracelets of simple bronze, perfumed oil masks, the dust of the streets. Some brothels stood near taverns, where wine and beer flowed freely. Imagine the sounds, laughter spilling into alleys, clay mugs clattering on wooden tables, and behind a curtain, women waiting in shadow. Outside, children run through streets, unaware or indifferent. Neighbors pass by, some with pity, some with scorn. To be a woman of the brothel was to live between worlds, necessary to the city's rhythms, yet never granted respect. Asterisk, asterisk, and yet, beneath the labels and roles, they were human. They laughed. They wept. They remembered the faces of lovers long gone, the scent of rain on dry earth, the songs of their childhood. You imagine lying on a mat beside them, listening as one hums softly a tune from her village far away. Another braids her hair, another tells a joke, and for a moment the small room fills with laughter. In these moments, they were not simply women of Babylon's brothels. They were daughters, sisters, friends woven into the quiet fabric of a city that history remembers for kings and conquests, but rarely for them. As centuries pass, Babylon itself crumbles. The gardens dry, the walls fall, the river shifts. Kings' names are forgotten, rewritten, or lost. Yet somewhere in that dust lie the untold stories of these women. You drift deeper into sleep, imagining their footsteps fading into silence. The brothels are gone, the rooms empty, the oil lamps long extinguished. But perhaps, in remembering them tonight, their lives flicker once more, like faint stars across the Mesopotamian sky. Asterisk, asterisk, so sleep now, knowing that even in forgotten alleys of history, every life once carried laughter, sorrow, and love. The women of Babylon, unseen but not unlived, walk beside you in dreams.